Hi, I'm Jade Campbell, also known as Dancing Jade. Well, at this moment, I'm formally, how you want to put it, boy? I'm revamping one of my programs, which was initially dancercise. So I started off after HD, and I was solo, and then Pablo came to me and he was like, Jade, maybe we should do this thing on a different level. You know, we should help one another and whatever. So I was like, okay, cool.
I mean, you were solo.
I did dancercise on my own. I started it by myself, which was when I left HD in 2014. Right, and then, well, what happened was, you know how these things go, you know, everybody's like, Jade, go in the gym, go and thing, but I didn't want to go in the gyms. So I kept on, and then I started to work on radio. So now I'm a co-host on Boom Champions, Monday to Thursday, 12 to 3 p.m., right, with Jamoon. And it's kind of hard to try to explain Jade Campbell because it's kind of different with dancing Jade, because how to put it, I have a lot of plans. And you know, sometimes they say man does plan and God does laugh. So I try to keep most of the things that I want to do as a secret to myself until I get
all these things aligned.
Everything aligned. Yeah, I have to get everything in place and whatever. So the only thing that I could share right now is that dancercise part 2 will be coming soon. Paul Richards is actually responsible for my broadcasting career. I was a judge on TNT's #1 dance crew, and he was like, oh my gosh, girl, you're so blatant and honest, and you know, you just don't care. And he's like, you're crazy. So I'm like, no, I'm eccentric. Then he was like, I think that radio suits you well. And at that point in time, it was TTRN, and well, I was dancing with Machel also, so I couldn't do the two at the same time. So I made the choice, obviously, to go to dance, because I did a tour with Pitbull for 6 weeks. So when I considered the options, toured with Pitbull, radio in Trinidad, I was like, oh man, I'm gone, you know? So yeah, that's how it happened. And then when I left HD in 2014, I started EDAJ, which would have been, and EDAJ means Every Dance Action by Jade, which is actually my name backwards, EDAJ, right? And then during that period of being solo and trying to, you know, come from this life of traveling and 5-star hotels to starting over on my own, so it was hard. And then one day I just got a call from Mr. Glenn Howard, on behalf of Karen Wright, and this is from Boom Champions, and they wanted me, and I was like, well, maybe the second time might be a charm, so I tried it. It's going good. Woo! It was magnificent. I can't imagine any other thing like that. That was spectacular, because I can't remember the amount of states we've been to, but picture waking up every morning in a different state. Yeah, it was magnificent. He's actually one of the most beautiful human beings I've ever met. He's cool, generous, kind. I mean, like, before we went, Machel was like, hey, don't go over there and embarrass yourselves. Let's be professional. And you know, the first day we went, I'll never forget it. After we did the first show, we were still not even dressed, because we get up or the clothes or whatever, and then we realized, wait, stage come down, lighting come down already, because you know we different in Trinidad now. And then after that, he invited us to his bus, because the dancers were in a different bus to the artists. And when he called for us, and we were like, we don't know if we should come. And he called, and we went, and he was like, oh man, you need to meet my friend Patron. So I'm like, Patron? Who's Patron? He's like, Patron, girl. And after that, the rest was history. We had a magnificent time. Magnificent.
And the Machel is?
Oh, good. Oh, how I wish I could relive it.
How many years was it?
To tell you the honest truth, my first gig with Machel Montano was Real Unity, which would have been 2000, 2001, I think. Yeah, and we just used to do like, you know, when you used to have, it was before AC was alternative, it was always AC. No, it was something before that. I can't remember. Yeah, he used to have like different things, and you're right. And we used to do all those shows, but it was just like locally. And then the year he was for Madison Square Garden. Can't remember. That might have been. Anyway, I don't want to call no wrong years. Yeah. And then we started to travel. That was actually one of the greatest productions we ever did too, because his Peter Machel was a part of that cast, so it was a lot of theater and drama. But working with Machel was definitely a learning experience and a mixture of emotions, because you get to see, not often you get to see talented people or be in that kind of intimate realm with an artist. So, you know, he's a human being. We all have moods, we all have stuff, but one thing I always say about him, no matter what he's going through, he is professional to the end. Carefree, like if we, like when we on tour and we go in and we on the plane itself, we have a time, because we actually were somewhat, if you want to say, like a family, because everyone knew one another. So, and I mean, it was about 7 years, you know. We traveled together as a band all over the world. So the relationship everyone formed was kind of like, all right, maybe we are the HD family. Yeah, but working with him was really magnificent. He's professional. I also learned a lot from him, business-wise. The only thing I would say is that I just want to tell him I love him. And I appreciate everything that he has done for me. I think that we as Trinbagonians, we tend to be very harsh naturally. It doesn't matter. It could be football, it could be cricket, anything. We tend to judge people harshly. And you know, like there was a time, I remember, just going off a little bit, like Michael Jackson. He's the one that made me dance. I was mesmerized by him. And you know, later on in his life, you know the rumors. I don't need to stop.
How the world came.
Yeah, how the world came around, right? And what struck me the most is, why do we always need to know the personal life of somebody? Because to me, that does not take away from the entertainment aspect of them, if you understand what I'm saying now. So like, how can you judge Machel when you have never lived with him? Or how can you judge the Prime Minister if you never lived with him, or anybody else? But I mean, at the same time, I do understand that a part of life is always having perception and opinions or whatever, but I think we tend to exaggerate a lot of things. And we hear rumors, we hear stories about Machel, but people need to...
We love the bad news.
Yeah, we love the bad news, but you need to give Jack the jacket. He's the greatest. He gives you a show. I think for me, one of the best things I've ever experienced was traveling and seeing a lot of the world that I never thought I would have been able to see. So I'm very, very thankful for that. As far as
Worst times.
my worst times, maybe when I'm overthinking. I tend to do that a lot.
Snowball.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that's one of my it's one of my pet peeves too. Like it's hard sometimes for me at night to just lie down and sleep, because I'm always thinking of something or what to do next, and yeah, things like that. Another thing I don't like about myself too is that I tend to procrastinate. Yeah, I'm now trying to deal with that. Yeah, I procrastinate and I overthink, and what happens is, I think that, you know, I start at A and then I would just reach L and don't know how I reach there. so it's kind of hard to focus. But I have a good family backbone. So, you know, they all help me and they try to guide me in the best way possible and say, well, Jade, this don't make sense. No, you know, take your time and do everything bit by bit. You're not a superhero. Some people are though. I wish I was one. Actually, I'm from Malik, Barataria. That's where I remembered. I think I used to live a little while with my mom in Arima actually. But Malik is what I know. My formative years was in Malik. Loved it. I mean, it at that time, you know, they say ghetto, I don't know, you know, it's tend to say, but it taught me a lot. It taught me how to, not because you are of a certain tone income, you know, people tend to feel because you're lighter that you have this air about you or whatever. So it taught me to be grounded. It helped with the better part of my personality, and also I think too because of family, because my family is very rootsy. So my dad and granny and mom, and they always taught me, all my aunts and uncles, because I grew up in an extended family, cousins, everybody, and especially daddy, he'll always be like, that vagrant is a man, it's a person, it's a human being. It doesn't mean that you have to give them $4,000, but I mean, if you have $1 and you know it wouldn't hurt you, there's nothing, you know, wrong with it. The most you could hope for is that they actually use it, you know, to buy something to eat or whatever. But yeah, Malik was the greatest. Loved it. Tomboy.
And high school and like.
High school, I went to St. George's College. I actually passed for Woodbrook Sec, but I can transfer. Yeah, because it was actually closer to home at the time. Because yeah. I think one of my, if I have to put it down as a flaw, is that I put people before myself, which always tends to go haywire or downhill, if you want to call it that. So what happens is, I think it's a good attribute, because I think that we should always consider each other, you know, human beings and stuff, but putting others before yourself is not always a good thing. And like for me, I think one of the greatest lessons I think I'm now really trying to get over, the hurdle, is to separate Jade Campbell from Dancing Jade. Because by nature, and I guess it's probably what I portray, everybody always wants to know, like, if I go out, that's why I kind of stop partying. Like, I can't just stand up, Dancing Jade, walk out. God, give my rest at 34 this year. How much walk out? Don't they want me walk out? You know what I mean? So, like, a lot of people don't really know. Like, people, I remember sometimes somebody's like, you cry? So I was like, I am such a baby. I am so emotional. So that is one of the hardest tasks, I think, for me. And it kind of happened, the breakthrough kind of happened in I can't call it a relationship, I think I'll call it a situationship, where, you know, you put yourself in positions and yeah, I should not have done somebody else's girl child that, but I got myself caught up in a situation, and obviously it went downhill, and you know how the triangles go, and then I really fell hard. And that's when I learned that, you know, rock bottom is also a good start, because I was like, Jade, you know, we tend to preach and say so many things to people and judge and thing, and then the same thing that we, you know, cast a stone on somebody for is the same thing sometimes we do. Like, you know, we tend to call other girls that name, and then you might come and do something else that you might have just judged somebody else on. So it was kind of hard, because it was like, why was I doing somebody else that, another woman who was supposed to have respect for as woman to woman. And it really brought me down to a place of reality, if you want to say that much. It was more like, Jade, you better than this. And me not even fronting, but alright, a little nice. I could get my own, you understand what I'm saying? So it was really kind of terrifying. 11 HD was also one of the hardest, or if not the hardest thing I ever did too. The only reason for me why I think that HD was a drastic change for me, you know, like leaving, it was because when you have lived your passion and done your career, and that is the only thing you knew you wanted to be, it was almost like, okay, I'm going to do dancercise, but I wanna dance, I wanna hear her too, you know. So that was like, I cried, and you know, everybody was like, Jade, you will be okay. You're not seeing it now, but you will be okay. You're a survivor, you know, and I guess survived. Nah, I don't regret anything. I might kinda, you know, beat up myself and be a little harsh on some of my decisions, but to regret, I don't think so. I think that we live and we learn, and this is sometimes, I mean, you know, people say, you know, the path that you choose ends up to be like your destiny, like, or whatever, but I think that everything I have done and everything I have been through has made this rock. Because right now, I'm not going through that. And I know what I want, and I'm going for it. If I have to work hard, if however long it takes or whatever, the most important lesson for me too at this point in time is structure and learning how to follow through, which will take time with me. And at 33, I mean, it might be old to some people, but I think that I have a chance. And by 45, I want to cock up my foot, you know.
Nice plan.
Yeah. Relax. If I wasn't a dancer, I really don't know, because that was all I wanted to do. That was all I wanted to do.
Who inspires you?
My family. I can't even name. It's too much to name. When I say my family, because it's not a secret that my father is bipolar, and it was kind of hidden from me. It's only after some years, you know, I understood the level of the depression, the highs and lows, the manic depressive stages and stuff. But it wasn't easy on my family. But I also know, like, from reading and educating myself about the disease, family is important. You need that support. And my family, this is my father's side, they tend to be very scared. They always tell me that, oh, you're so bold and you're so, you know, like, I do things that I'm not afraid of anything. But the love, there's an unconditional love that I don't know. You know, everybody. Like nobody has to say, like, I mean, you know, and you could guess. We see videos with patients who are bipolar. It's not an easy thing to deal with, you know. So it's just like they all move together in one particular house just to help out each other, make sure everybody's okay, you know. And my family, I get my personality from my father's side most times, so maybe that's why I'm so eccentric. But yeah, so, you know, it could be a lot, but their love, and they will do anything for me. And I think I should take this opportunity now to say to the Campbell family, I love you. Oh, my grandmother is a McLean. Granny Merle, I love you too. Okay, so I think the interview is over. Big up OMG magazine. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I've always been seeing the covers and was like, where am I? Anyway, you could listen to me every Monday to Thursday on Boom Champions 94.1, 12 to 3 with Jamoon and Beats by Robin, and on a Sunday with the On Point team, Hans, Khalifa, Brent, and myself from 9 to 12. Bye! Hey, hey, hey.